Hey guys, I'm Gracelle, and if you're new to my channel, I normally talk about writing, minimalism, lifestyle, and everything else in between. Except I haven't really been talking about any of that lately because I just kind of haven't been feeling the video format for a while, and I'm hoping to get back into it and set up a schedule once more. But for the last couple of months I've been focusing so much on my other creative outlets that this one just kind of fell by the wayside, and I'm okay with that because I started this channel as a way to really experiment with using my camera, which has since died, so I replaced it with a different camera, and also learning how to use I'm learning how to use Adobe Premiere, not Photoshop, which I already know how to use. But it takes its time, even for little quickie videos like these. It takes time that... Kitty cat. Kitty cat, stop that. And so getting back to my train of thought, it takes time to put these together, even if it's just a quick 2-minute update. And sometimes it's time that I don't want to spare. Because let's be honest, if I'm working full-time, having a long commute, driving, trying to take care of myself, trying to eat healthy, make writing work, balance all the other things, it just doesn't always come together, and sometimes something has to give. And in the last few months, that has been this channel. And if you hear continued clinking in the background, it's because little girl is washing herself. And she's so cute, I can't move her off the bed, so you're gonna just have to deal with it. So I thought I would hop on here and do a quick little update. I have been focusing on my health a lot more. As I said, I have an upcoming appointment on May 4th, I believe, to see my endocrinologist. If you are familiar with my previous videos about my hypothyroidism, then you will know that I have recently, in the last 6 months, switched doses. After nearly 10 years on the same level of Synthroid, I was switched over from 112 micrograms to 125. That has actually led to a serious increase in my energy, but a few other side effects that I think are either because of or related to the change. I don't know how much of it is due to some other issues with hormonal imbalance that I had been having, and how much is due to the sudden change in the thyroid levels, and so my body's still trying to adapt to that. But I've had some symptoms that remind me of my first transition into the correct dose, and I'm hoping that they'll go away. I'm hoping that I'll get good results when I go to see my doctor. So I will follow up on that and continue that series, because I do find it valuable to share my story with hypothyroidism, because as with many of the chronic illnesses that are consistently underdiagnosed or incorrectly diagnosed, I just kind of feel like the more information you put out there, the better it is for everyone. And now there's birds singing. This is a really bad time to record a video, but I feel like if I don't do it now, it's just not going to happen. So we're gonna keep on going. So anyhow, birds, cats, it's all coming together. I am trying to make that work. I am on a mission to reestablish good habits as far as eating. I have recently, in the last 3 weeks, decided to once again try a semi-vegetarian diet, which is something I did when I first started dealing with the process towards improving my thyroid health, when I was in grad school, around the beginning of grad school, many moons ago. I was finally on what would be the correct dose for me for about 10 years, and was focusing on finally shedding the weight that I had been unable to shed because my thyroid was not working properly. I have an underactive thyroid, and one of the things I did, which was really helpful for my skin, my digestive situation, and other issues, including not just weight, was to adopt a semi-vegetarian diet, eat less red meat in general, because there are some interactions between too much iron in the body and how effectively Synthroid is absorbed in the body. I had also cut out dairy completely for a long time, and I have issues with dairy in general, so that's not a big problem. But I had been slowly letting dairy creep back into my diet in the last couple of years. I did a Whole30, I eliminated dairy, but it's still, I was you know, allowing little bits here and there, a little bit of creamer in my coffee, the occasional, you know, sweet treat that had dairy in it. But I've decided to be strict and avoid it in general because I don't like the way I feel on dairy. I think it's a problem with the proteins in dairy. And it's a problem I had as a baby. Obviously, I don't remember that, but my mother can confirm that I had issues with dairy even as a child, and I was put on soy formula and for other reasons on top of the fact that I just couldn't digest dairy at all. So my body seems to have regressed to that. I'm completely cutting out dairy, reducing my, definitely I'm barely eating any red meat at all, reducing meat intake in general, and just trying a more vegetarian lifestyle for a bit to see how that works for both my health, my getting back to proper fitness journey, because I have put on about 20 pounds or so in the last few years for multiple reasons also, but one of them being that, again, my thyroid meds were off and nobody had been really checking up on that or taking it seriously, I would say, because I had commented to my medical professionals more than once that I felt like things were off, but because the numbers looked normal, which is what many a doctor will tell you if you feel symptoms, but their charts look fine, my numbers looked normal and my symptoms were not being taken seriously. I had to advocate for myself a lot, but that was a 2-year process to finally get them to notice that my numbers kept increasing and my symptoms as well. So obviously something was wrong. It finally worked, so I'm trying to get back to what I felt was a state of equilibrium in my body in general. So that involves a lot of things, including just getting back to a diet that is more conducive to my body working as it should, and my thyroid functioning properly, and everything getting absorbed correctly. So that's where I'm at health-wise. Writing-wise, I'm almost done with my current draft. I am excited. I hit my second milestone a couple of weeks ago, and I am only, as of today, 4 chapters away from being done with this current draft of my novel. The next stage is to do a cleanup, but I believe that this draft, I have worked out all the kinks that I believe I can work out without a professional, without further assistance. So at this point, either I move forward with querying or I figure out terrible time to record. What? I either move forward with querying or I make some real decisions about whether or not I want to self-publish, which is a choice that I will consider, but not a choice that I want to make right off the bat. Mostly because I don't want to go through the process of having to find myself an editor, having to market myself, having to learn how to produce ebooks and all the other content that goes along with it. I think that is a great path for many writers to take, and it's a path that I will consider, but I do want to give myself a chance first to try the traditional publishing route and see whether or not it actually pans out. I am a pessimist in general, so my expectations are not high, but they are realistic. So that is where we'll go with that. Other than that, everything else is coming along swimmingly, I suppose. I have been focusing more on my blog, as I mentioned. I haven't really been putting my creative energies into the YouTube channel just because I've been putting my creativity in other areas. So I've been trying to engage with my blog a little bit more regularly, so that's where a lot of my empties have been going instead, just in short formats, as well as like quickie reviews of books and stuff. So if you don't see books and empties and that sort of content on the channel, visit marginaliaandsuch.net, which is always linked below, because that's where I'm posting it. It's where I originally used to post all my content, and I'm kind of feeling it right now, so it's all there. I have also been working on the podcast. I briefly mentioned it in a video a long time ago, but I got together with 2 girls at work and we are doing a bi-weekly podcast on popular culture and all kinds of things. So if you want to check that out, we are thebluestockingcircle.com, and I invite you to give us a listen because it's fun. So that's where my creative energies have been going, between writing and the podcast and the blog, and just trying to kind of, you know, bring back yoga and cooking and meal prepping and taking care of myself and walking more. I really just haven't really been feeling the need to make as many videos, although I would like to get back into it because, as I said, this is an exercise in me learning how to use my equipment and that is always worthwhile for many reasons, because lifelong learning is good. So that's where we're at today. I thought I would just sit down. Excitable pets and noisy birds in the background notwithstanding, I hope you guys are doing great, and I will check in soon. I don't know how regular these videos will be, but I will definitely check back in when I go to my thyroid doctor and see what's going on and do an extended review of the last 6 months of dealing with messy thyroid health. So I'll leave you guys for now, and I will talk to you soonish, I hope. Bye. This is the cuteness that you could hear. Look at that face. Oh, she's always so grumpy. They're cleaning outside. Never mind.